Good morning everyone. So today let's start the topic eukaryotic cells. Now eukaryotic cell, the name itself indicates that these are the cells which are with a proper nucleus. Okay, that means a membrane bound true nucleus is present in this particular type of cells. Now the main characters of eukaryotic cells are that here the nucleus contains the chromosomes. That means in prokaryotic cells the main thing was that it doesn't contain a membrane bound nucleus, but here it contains a membrane bound nucleus. Now in these cells the cell organelles are present. Here cell divides or the cell division takes place with the help of mitosis and meiosis. The cytoplasms, they show movement, but in case of prokaryotic cells we have observed that the cytoplasm doesn't show any movement and there only cell division takes place by mitosis. Meiosis was completely absent in case of prokaryotic cells. Okay. Then here the ribosome present is 80S, but in prokaryotes what we have got, it was 70S. Now these are mostly present in sexual diploid organisms. That means in haploid organisms actually eukaryotic cells are not found. So in diploid sexual organisms only eukaryotic cells are found. Now they do not possess plasmid and pili. That means sex pilus and plasmids are absent here, and they possess the sap vacuoles. In case of prokaryotes we have got gas vacuoles. Here sap vacuoles are present. Okay, so these are the basic main points. Many more characters are there, but these are the basic important points of eukaryotic cells which helps us to distinguish them from that of the prokaryotic cells. Now next we come, after studying about eukaryotic and prokaryotic characters of the cell, let's begin with the cell parts. Okay, so whenever we are studying about a cell, its part, first thing we come across is a cell wall. Got it? So cell wall is the main thing which is the main protective layer of the cell, okay, and gives a proper shape to a definite cell. So here in this diagram, this is actually a eukaryotic cell. Here you can see the outline. It is a thick rigid structure which is enclosing a compartment in which protoplasm, organelles, nucleus are all embedded within it. This particular outline, rigid outline, is called the cell wall. Okay, so now let's start and discuss about what is cell wall, its composition and the different functions and structure. Okay. Now cell wall actually it is a rigid semi-elastic, semi-transparent, supportive and protective covering of the cell. Okay, so this is the main thing which covers and protects the cell. Here it is made up of actually various types of chemical substances like water, hemicellulose, pectin, lipid, protein, suberin, etc. Now while we are discussing about the cell wall, sometimes what happens in different type of plants also, some depositions are also found in case of cell wall. Okay, so these depositions are based on the substances that are present on its outer layer. Okay, but beforehand let us study about in details the structure of the cell wall. Basically the cell wall, it consists of three parts. Okay, the middle lamella, the primary cell wall and the secondary cell wall. But sometimes a tertiary cell wall is also present. Okay, now the middle lamella, it is actually a thin amorphous intercellular matrix between two cells. This acts as a cementing surface between two cells. That means what happens if this is a cell, again these boundaries are indicating that this is another cell, this is another cell. So middle lamella is a connection in between two cells. Got it? That means two cells, the interconnection or the cementing surface is known as middle lamella. Now this is actually made up of calcium pectate, pectins, magnesium pectate, etc. Now due to the presence of calcium and magnesium, actually they help to bind the two cells. They act as a binding substance between the two cells. Okay, and the ripening of fruit, actually the softening of ripe fruits, actually when the fruits are ripened they become soft, isn't it? And that is actually due to this solubilization of the pectins. After the middle lamella, the next layer that is formed is the primary wall. That means when cell division takes place from the cell plates, first formed is middle lamella and next to that is the primary cell wall. Now this is actually laid inner to the middle lamella. It is thin and elastic and it is capable of growth. Now how growth takes place in primary wall? Here the growth is called intussusception. In earlier class you may have studied about what is intussusception, isn't it? Intussusception means the cell growth that is taken place due to deposition of substances. That means in this primary cell wall, substances will get accumulated, deposited, and due to that the growth takes place. That is known as intussusception. Then after that, followed by the primary cell wall, is the secondary cell wall. It is an additional actually wall laid just inner to the primary wall, and it is formed or developed by accretion. That means living matters, they get deposited on the surface and they form the cell wall. And this particular process by which living cells divide and growth is done, that is known as accretion. Okay. Now the secondary cell wall is actually divided into 3 layers: outer layer, middle layer, inner layer. And so in the diagram itself you can see that 3 layers are being indicated as the secondary layer. So this outline is the middle lamella, next to it is the primary cell wall. This line which is represented, this one, that is the outer layer. Simple, this layer is the middle layer and this dotted layer indicates the inner layer. So these 3 together constitutes the secondary cell wall. But sometimes in what happen in case of gymnosperms in tension wood, the cell wall which is rich in xylem is formed inner to that of the secondary cell wall. That is known as the tertiary cell wall. Okay. So but this is rare, it is not formed in all plants, only in gymnosperms it is observed. So this is the basic structure of the plant cell wall. Okay. So plant cell wall, which is very important, we have already said. Here some depositions may also take place, like silica depositions may take place in some pteridophytes. Okay. Then non-siliceous materials may take place, like calcium, which may get deposited on the outer surface, irons. Then cutin deposition may take place, a thick cuticle may form, which is helpful in case of xerophytic plants. Suberin may get deposited on the outer surface, wax-like substances may be present, lignin may be present. Okay. So these are the different substances which may get deposited on the outer part of the cell wall, and they serve the plants, and they give a different type of external structure to the plant. Now the plant cell wall, it also consists of some particular pores. Okay. It consists of pores which are known as the pits. The pits may be either simple or bordered pits, and in between the cells, that means in the middle lamella portion, what happened, now we are telling that this is also another cell, isn't it? So here in between them some pores are present through which the cytoplasmic exchange take place, and they form a bridge like structure which is an important part of the cell wall. That particular bridge is known as the plasmodesmata, and that plasmodesmata is very much helpful for the exchange of substances from one cell to another. Okay, they form a continuity. Then next, the functions of cell wall, they provide a proper shape to the plant cell. Okay, the name, as it is a rigid structure, so definitely they will provide a proper shape. They provide rigidity to the cell wall. Then they act as a barrier which prevents the entry of pathogen into the cells. They provide protection to the protoplasm from mechanical injury. Now we are already mentioning in the diagram the protoplast is within the cell wall, so it is being provided with protection from the outer side or the pathogens. Then their cell wall function is apoplast. Okay, that means which is permeable to water and minerals. Plasmodesmata are present, which shows symplast movement. It allows substances to pass through it. Okay. Then they provide a mechanical support to the plant to withstand the gravitational forces. Then their growth are also dependent on this cell walls. Okay, they undergo extension during growth. So moreover, sometimes what happens, it may prevent the bursting of the and due to endosmosis of the cell. Okay, they will, if excess endosmosis take place, the cell may burst, so they will protect the cell from that bursting also. So there are many more functions like that which are very much essential, but basically what happens, it provides a rigid structure, shape, and helps the cell content from external injury and entry of pathogens. Okay, so these are the basic important points regarding the cell wall. The diagrams are provided to you, notes are given, write them properly, go through the videos, and if you find any problem, then please kindly let me know.